We are people of God in the Roman Catholic Diocese of Youngstown. Blessed with a rich variety of backgrounds and talents, we are a living reflection of the universal church. Through our baptism, we continue Christ's mission to further the kingdom of God through the human family. We share our living faith by proclaiming the gospel in word and example. Together, we celebrate Christ's presence in worship and sacrament. In a spirit of justice, mercy, and love, we dedicate ourselves not only to minister to the people in the 6 counties of northeastern Ohio, but also to minister to the world community. The Diocese of Youngstown, which celebrates its 75th anniversary in 2018, was established in 1943. Its humble beginnings can be traced back to 1817 in Dungannon, Ohio, where the first parish in all northeastern Ohio was established. St. Philip Neri was founded under the title of St. Paul's Settlement. It was to this settlement in Columbiana County that Father Edward Fenwick, a priest and Dominican missionary, made his first visit. It would be his job to plant the Catholic Church in young America's 17th state of Ohio. Miles west from Dungannon, in a place called Canton, other pioneer Catholics gathered in that same year to celebrate Mass with Father Fenwick. 6 years later, in 1823, the second oldest church in the Diocese of Youngstown would be established at St. John the Baptist in Stark County, now one of 3 basilicas in the Catholic Diocese of Youngstown. In Portage County, around Randolph-Suffield, below Kent, German Catholics settled. The first parish established there was St. Joseph in 1831, and a church was built in 1835. Father John Newman, a Redemptorist priest visiting the area, was sent to Randolph for a 10-day mission in 1841 to help heal the divisions there. Perhaps that is what made him a saint. The number of Catholics continued to grow throughout the mid to late 19th century, and with it, the number of parishes to serve them. In Trumbull County, St. Mary's Mission was established in 1837. 10 years later, St. Columba Parish was founded in Mahoning County and would eventually serve as the Cathedral Church and Youngstown as its see city. In 1856, St. Joseph Parish in Ashtabula was begun. In 1943, the northeast corner of the state of Ohio was established as the Diocese of Youngstown. The Diocese of Youngstown, like all Catholic dioceses, is a community of churches and believers under the leadership of the bishop, who serves to unify and coordinate its Christian mission and ministries. The man who was sent to serve the young diocese was James Augustine McFadden, at that time the auxiliary bishop of Cleveland. His charge was to do for the 6 counties in the northeastern part of the state what young Father Fenwick did for those same young communities over a century ago. McFadden's task was largely organizational. A school office was established, a Catholic Charities organization was begun, a tribunal was organized, as were the diocesan deaneries. Lay organizations and councils were founded, and religious communities, like the Society and Daughters of St. Paul and the Oblate Sisters of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, were invited to serve the new diocese. Some communities were already present, like the Ursuline Sisters of Youngstown, since 1873, the Humility of Mary Sisters, known as Blue Nuns, serving from their mother house in neighboring Villa Maria, Pennsylvania, since 1864, and the Precious Blood Priests, Sisters, and Brothers. In 1949, Bishop McFadden's labors, combined with failing health, led to the appointment of Bishop Emmett M. Walsh as administrator of the diocese with the right of succession. Walsh came from Charleston, South Carolina. He became the ordinary in 1952 upon McFadden's death. The Walsh era of the diocese formally ran until his death in 1968. Under his leadership, the high school structure was developed, and the Catholic school system was greatly expanded. A tragic fire destroyed the diocesan cathedral in 1954, but by 1958, Bishop Walsh had dedicated the new cathedral, which continues to serve Catholics today. In 1960, Walsh consecrated Father James W. Malone as the first auxiliary bishop of Youngstown. Together, with the assistance of laity, religious, and clergy, they were responsible for shepherding the diocese, which had grown to over 286,000 Catholics in 112 parishes. By the end of the Second Vatican Council in 1965, Bishop Walsh was an exhausted and sick man. Malone became administrator of the diocese in 1966, and in 1968, upon Walsh's death, was named the third ordinary of the Diocese of Youngstown. On his shoulders fell the responsibility for implementing not only the many changes called for by Vatican II, but more importantly, the new style and spirit which the Council called for. The bishops who had attended Vatican II experienced the Church in an entirely new way and were themselves subject to profound conversion. Their challenge upon returning to their diocese was to share their conversion with all God's people and involve them more fully in the life and mission of the Catholic Church. In 1974, William A. Hughes was ordained a bishop and became the second auxiliary for the Diocese of Youngstown. In 1979, he became the ordinary of Covington, Kentucky. In 1980, Benedict C. Franzetta became the third auxiliary for the Diocese of Youngstown. He remained here until his death in 2006. Upon Malone's retirement in 1995, Bishop Thomas J. Tobin, auxiliary of the Diocese of Pittsburgh, became the fourth ordinary of the Diocese of Youngstown. He became the Bishop of Providence, Rhode Island in 2006. In 2007, George V. Murray, ordinary of St. Thomas in the American Virgin Islands, was appointed as the fifth bishop of the Diocese of Youngstown. One of the significant achievements in the Murray era began in late 2014 when the Diocese of Youngstown formally engaged in a consultative effort with clergy and laity, representing all ages throughout the Church, to propose actions that would improve parish and diocesan life. In July 2015, the pastoral plan, which grew out of this diocesan-wide effort, was promulgated and identified 7 themes that emerge as important to the faithful in the Diocese of Youngstown. Its ultimate goal was to encourage deeper discipleship among the faithful, and in turn, advance the mission of the Church in northeastern Ohio. Those themes include service, evangelization, family life, worship and prayer, discipleship, faith formation, catechesis, finances, and administration. This pastoral plan for evangelization encourages the faithful to trust in Jesus Christ and to accept His call to discipleship. The Church in northeastern Ohio has changed considerably from its humble beginnings at St. Paul's Settlement near Dungannon, when Father Fenwick passed through in 1817. The Church in the Diocese of Youngstown tries to hasten, facilitate, and create the environment wherein the kingdom of God can go forward. And it is in that same spirit that the Diocese of Youngstown celebrates 75 years with pride in the past and faith in the future.